Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. Let's talk about SBF again and what he could be charged with, and what are some obstacles that the U.S. actually faces in charging him. So, first of all, there are two obstacles. One is jurisdiction. Now, this one I think the DOJ can get around, and they've already signaled that they've kind of gotten around it. Like we've said before, FTX is not in the United States. They do not deal with US clients. They do not deal with United States citizens. I've told you guys before, I tried to sign up for FTX, and once I indicated that I was in the United States, they would not let me sign up. Now, FTX.us is a whole nother thing. They've stopped withdrawals as well. But it's unclear what exactly is the relationship between FTX.us and FTX, and did FTX.us's assets get destroyed as well. So FTX has this jurisdiction problem. Of course, the Bahamas are investigating him too, and that could actually get them. But the DOJ has signaled that in this case, they can have some workarounds on that, what relationships FTX has with U.S. banks. They've done this before for many other cases, and the DOJ has signaled that they will do this for FTX to bring it under United States jurisdiction. Remember, he's already in custody on Bahamas, and the Bahamas and the United States do have an extradition treaty, but they need to establish that they have jurisdiction, because if they don't have jurisdiction, they legally can't actually try him. And they probably might turn him over to other countries, but he is kind of a U.S. citizen, so I'm not exactly sure how that would work. And the second one is there has to be an actual crime. Now, you're saying, well, he lost billions of dollars of people's money. Isn't that a crime? I would say yes, but the legal system might actually say differently. Apparently, mismanaging other people's money happens all the time, and losing it does happen all the time, and people do get off scot-free because it's not actually a crime. I would argue that his reckless behavior of basically borrowing Alameda FTX customer funds is a crime, but I don't know if that'll actually hold any legal water. However, there are legal experts that do believe that he can easily be charged with wire fraud. Yes, wire fraud. One of those things is basically obviously porting a backdoor into a wallet account that lets him move funds without anyone else noticing or knowing. That's obviously fraud. And obviously, there's a lot of transfers between FTX and Alameda and other things that could actually constitute what's wire fraud. Now, what is the penalty for wire fraud? Well, the maximum penalty for wire fraud, and of course, it all depends on how much money you're defrauding, which in this case would actually be the maximum time, is 20 years in prison. Now, that's not to say they won't file any other charges against him, because they might once he's actually established jurisdiction in the United States. But reckless trading, obviously, with customer money may not actually count as a crime, but wire fraud is definitely a crime, and it carries a maximum of 20 years, which would actually apply to SBF. And legal experts are saying that is likely what he's facing if they can establish jurisdiction, because that's really the only crime that they can really establish right now. Now, they might establish more crimes in the future, but right now, that is the crime. 20 years is a long time. I think he definitely deserves more. I think he was operating a Ponzi scheme like Bernie Madoff, and they need to investigate that. Now, like I said, the Bahamas is investigating him, and he might actually get more criminal time there. But I don't really know how, you would treat a U.S. citizen in the Bahamas. Would it just be like Russia? Nope, we're locking you up forever. I kind of wish he was in Russia, and he got Putin mad, so Putin just locks him up for 100 years. And then the U.S. would be like, all right, we're not trading for him. You can have him, Putin. But that's not true. He's in the Bahamas, and the U.S. has to establish jurisdiction so they can go after him, which the DOJ is pretty sure it can do. And they also have to establish a crime like wire fraud that carries a huge penalty. Now, that's not all the trouble he'll be in. There's going to be a lot of fines on SBF. There's going to be a ton of civil suits with that. So he's going to have to pay. So he's basically going to be penniless after this, because people are going to take whatever money he has left. And in this kind of liability, they might actually be able to go out. I'm pretty sure they will be able to go after his personal assets, not just Alameda and FTX's assets. I don't know if they'll be able to go after his parents' assets unless they were actually caught up in the scheme as well. We will have to see what happens there. But that's just an overview of like the two obstacles, jurisdiction and establishing a crime. And I think jurisdiction might take the vast majority of that time, and the possible charges of wire fraud and the 20-year sentence it can carry if he's actually convicted. Like I said, there definitely might be more charges, and there's going to be a lot of civil lawsuits that's going to leave him penniless and maybe even go after his parents' funds if they're involved in it. But that's kind of an overview of probably what's going to go down in the future. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.